For this video, we're gonna be discussing the derivative of inverse trigonometric function. So, simulan muna natin sa derivative ng arcsine of x. This is equivalent to 1 over the square root of 1 minus x squared, where x is not equal to positive or negative 1. Because if we have positive or negative 1 as values dun sa x natin, magiging 0 yung denominator natin, and our answer will be undefined. Okay, so again, this is the derivative of arcsine of x. The next one is the derivative of arccosine of x. Here. So the derivative is negative 1 over square root of 1 minus x squared. So ano yung mapapansin natin dun sa dalawang derivatives? Sa arcsine, positive yung derivative niya. Sa arccosine, negative ang kanyang derivative. So still, x is not equal to positive or negative 1 sa ating derivative ng arccosine. Let's have the next one. The derivative of arctangent. The derivative of arctangent of x is equal to 1 over 1 plus x squared. The next is the derivative of arccotangent of x. This is equal to negative 1 over 1 plus x squared. So ano yung mapapansin nyo dun sa dalawa? Kagaya nung sa arcsine at sa arccosine, magkatulad yung derivative nila, ang magkaiba lang ay yung sign. Positive sa arctangent, negative sa arccotangent. And dito yung values naman ng x natin is the set of all real numbers. Wala tayong restriction sa value ng x for arctangent and arccotangent. Let's have our arcsecant. For our arcsecant of x, the derivative is 1 over the absolute value of x times the square root of x squared minus 1. So dito, x cannot be equal to positive or negative 1 and also 0. And for the derivative of arccosecant of x, this is equivalent to negative 1 over the absolute value of x times the square root of x squared minus 1. So kagaya lang nung apat na nasa itaas, yung sa arcsecant natin is positive ang derivative niya, sa arccosecant natin, negative ang derivative niya. And kung titingnan natin lahat nung nasa kanan, yung nag-i-start sa c, lahat ng derivatives nila ay negative. So before we have our examples, discuss muna natin saan ba nagmula itong mga derivatives nito or paano sila nag-arrive dito sa derivative na ito. So let's have the first one, yung arcsine natin. So paano tayo nagkaroon ng 1 over square root of 1 minus x squared as the derivative of our arcsine? So maglet muna tayo ng value. Let x is equal to u. So palitan natin lahat ng x natin, gagawin nating u. So we have d over du of arcsine of u. This is equivalent to u prime over square root of 1 minus u squared. Ito yung gagamitin natin mamaya in solving problems. So dito, paano natin makukuha yung u prime? So u prime is the derivative of u. And since u is equal to x, find the derivative of x, which is 1. That's why we have 1 in the numerator. Over square root of 1 minus, we have u squared here, and u is equal to x. That's why we have x squared. So this is the derivative of our arcsine of x. For our arccosine, so negative lang naman yung derivative niya, pero discuss na din natin. So let x is equal to u. So kagaya lang nung nasa arcsine natin. So palitan natin lahat ng x, gawin natin silang u. So we have d over du of arccosine of u. This is equivalent to negative u prime over square root of 1 minus u squared. So yung u prime na discuss na natin dito sa sign, ulitin na lang natin. So u prime is the derivative of u. And since u is equal to x, the derivative of x is 1. So we have negative 1 over square root of 1 minus x squared. So paano naging x squared? From u squared, Ang u natin, ang value niya ay x. So, substitute lang natin. That's why we have x squared. So, again, ito yung mga gagamitin nating pattern or formula in solving our problems later. Now, let's discuss the derivative of arctangent of x. Diba? This is equivalent to 1 over 1 plus x squared. So, mag-let tayo, x is equal to u. Palitan natin lahat ng x ng u. So, we have d over du of arctangent of u. This is equivalent to u prime over 1 plus u squared. So, again, u prime is 1 because u is equal to x. The derivative of x is 1. And here's our derivative. So, yung u prime natin, that is 1. Kaya nagkaroon tayo ng 1 dito. Over 1 plus u squared. Palitan lang natin ng u. Gawin nating x. We have x squared. So, same lang naman din sila. For our arccotangent, so negative lang naman yung derivative niya. So, yung sa arctangent is positive. So, arccotangent is negative. So, same goes with our arccotangent. Let x is equal to u. And we have d over du of arccotangent of u. This is equivalent to negative u prime over 1 plus u squared. So, yung u prime natin is 1 over 1 plus x squared. So, this is negative. For the derivative of arcsecant of x, we have 1 over the absolute value of x times the square root of x squared minus 1. So, let x is equal to u. So, we have d over du of arcsecant of u. This is equal to u prime over the absolute value of u times the square root of u squared minus 1. So, again, u prime is 1 and u is equal to x. That's why we have 1 over the absolute value of x times the square root of x squared minus 1. So, this is the derivative of arcsecant of x. So, ito yung gagamitin nating pattern mamaya in solving the problem. And lastly, for the derivative of arccosecant of x, so negative lang yung kanyang derivative. So, arcsecant is positive, arccosecant is negative. So, let x is equal to u. Palitan natin lahat ng x, gawin natin u. So, we have d over du of arccosecant of u. This is equivalent to negative u prime over the absolute value of u times the square root of u squared minus 1. So, ang u prime natin is equal to 1. Ang u natin is equal to x. So, we have negative 1 over the absolute value of x times the square root of x squared minus 1. So, ito din yung pattern or formula na gagamitin natin mamaya in solving the problem. So, now let's have our example number 1. Find the derivative of the function f of x is equal to arcsine of 2x. So, gamitin lang natin yung formula na na-discuss natin kanina. So, we're gonna be using the derivative of arcsine of u is equal to u prime over 1 minus u squared. So, let u, ang u natin is kung ano man yung nandito. So, since 2x, so we have u is equal to 2x. Then, for the u prime, yun lang yung derivative ng u natin. Ano ba yung value ng u? 2x. And the derivative of 2x is 2. And after having the two values, substitute lang natin sila dito sa ating formula. So, yung u prime natin is 2. Ang u natin is 2x. So, kapag sinubstitute natin, magkakaroon tayo ng 2 sa ating numerator kasi yun yung u prime natin. And in the denominator, we have the square root of 1 minus 2x squared. Yun yung u squared natin. Ang u natin ay 2x. Then, simplify lang natin ito. Ang masisimplify lang natin is itong part. Itong 2x squared. So, we have 2 over square root of 1 minus 4x squared. So, dito we can have this as our final answer. But if you want to rationalize this, i-multiply natin siya dito sa square root of 1 minus 4x squared. So, both numerator and denominator, i-multiply natin doon. So, bakit ba natin siya gagawin? To remove the radical in the denominator. So, pag multiply natin, our answer is 2. So, multiply lang natin yung numerator. We have 2 times 1 minus 4x squared. Then in the denominator, pag ni-multiply natin itong dalawa, makakancel lang yung ating square root. So our denominator is 1 minus 4x squared. So this is our final answer, or this is the derivative of our given function. For our example number 2, find the derivative of the function f of x is equal to arccosine of x cubed. So ang gagamitin natin dito na formula is yung arccosine. So yung formula na yun is equal to negative u prime over square root of 1 minus u squared. So maglet muna tayo ng values. Yung u natin is equal to x cubed. Then ang u prime natin, kunin natin yung derivative ng x cubed, which is 3x squared. So gagamitin lang natin yung power rule dito. So multiply yung exponent dun sa coefficient, then minus 1 dun sa ating exponent. And after having these two values, substitute lang natin sila dun sa ating formula. So yung u prime natin yung nasa itaas, which is 3x squared, tapos yung nasa baba, u squared, papalitan natin ng x cube yung u. This is equal to negative 3x squared, yun yung ating u prime, over square root of 1 minus the square of x cubed. So this is u squared, yung u natin is x cubed. So substitute lang natin yun dito. Kaya nagkaroon tayo ng square of x cubed. And simplify lang natin itong part na to. So we have negative 3x squared over square root of 1 minus x raised to 6. So we can have this as our final answer, or if you want to rationalize, you're going to multiply both numerator and denominator by the square root of 1 minus x to the 6th. Then after multiplying, we're going to have negative 3x squared times square root of 1 minus x raised to 6 all over 1 minus x raised to 6. And this is the final answer for our example number 2. So this is the derivative of our arccosine of x cubed. For our example number 3, we have the function f of x is equal to arctangent of x over 3. So dito gamitin natin yung formula na arctangent of u is equal to u prime over 1 plus u squared. Then maglet lang tayo ng values. U is equal to 1/3 x. So 1/3 x is equal to x over 3. Inihiwalay lang natin yung fraction dun sa variable upang mas mabilis makuha yung derivative niya. Then for u prime, the derivative of 1/3 x is 1/3 only. And after having these two values, isubstitute na natin sila dun sa ating formula. So ang u prime natin is 1/3. Yun yung nasa numerator natin. And 1/3 x is isa-substitute natin dito sa ating u. So by substitution, we have 1/3 sa numerator natin over 1. So yung 1 naman ay constant. Plus, ang u natin is 1/3 x. So ito yung u natin squared. Then at this moment, ito yung pwede natin i-simplify. Yung 1/3 x squared. Pag sinimplify natin ito, we are going to have 1 over 9 x squared. So pag in-square natin ang 1/3, so 1 squared is 1, 3 squared is 9. Then x squared is x squared. Then here we have complex fraction. And to simplify this, kunin lang natin yung LCD nila. And the LCD is 9. So multiply natin yung 9 sa numerator and sa denominator. So distribution. So yung 9 times natin sa 1/3, that is equal to 3. 9 times 1 is 9. 9 times 1 over 9 is 1. So that's why the derivative or the final answer in our third problem is 3 over 9 plus x squared. For our example number 4, find the derivative of the function f of x is equal to arccotangent of 3x. So gamitin natin yung formula na arccotangent of u is equal to negative u prime over 1 plus u squared. So let values muna tayo. Let u is equal to 3x. Then u prime is equal to 3. So 3 is the derivative of 3x. After having these two values, substitute na natin sila dito sa ating formula. So yung u prime natin is 3, yung u natin is 3x. So by substitution, we have negative 3. So yun yung u prime natin nasa numerator. Over 1 plus u squared. Ang u natin is 3x, so we have 3x squared. So simplify lang natin itong part na to. We have negative 3 over 1 plus 9x squared. And since wala na tayong masasimplify dito, both numerator and denominator, this is our answer. So this is the derivative of our given function. Let's proceed now to our example number 5. So find the derivative of arcsecant of 1 plus x squared. So gamitin natin dito yung formula na u prime over the absolute value of u times the square root of u squared minus 1. Now let's set values. Let u is equal to 1 plus x squared. Then for the derivative of u, which is u prime, the derivative of 1 is 0 because this is constant. And the derivative of x squared is 2x. Then isubstitute natin itong dalawa dun sa ating formula. In the u prime, we have 2x. In the absolute value of u, we have 1 plus x squared. So yun yung nasa loob ng absolute value natin. Then square root of u squared, ang u squared natin is here. So the quantity of 1 plus x squared, then squared, then minus 1. And here, pwede nating i-simplify itong part na to. Ilabas lang natin yung absolute value niya, which is the same, 1 plus x squared. Tapos ito, gamitan lang natin ng FOIL method. So pag ginamitan natin ng FOIL method ito yung ating magiging answer. So the quantity of 1 plus x squared is equal to x raised to 4 plus 2x squared plus 1. So ito, isa-substitute lang natin dito sa portion na ito. Okay? So by substitution, we have this. So still 2x pa rin yung nasa itaas. And naging parenthesis na yung ating absolute value kasi kinuha na natin yung mismong absolute value ng 1 plus x squared, which is itself. So 1 plus x squared. Then dito sa loob ng ating radical, we have x raised to 4 plus 2x squared plus 1. So yun yung part na ito. Sinubstitute lang natin. Then minus 1. And here may mga terms tayo na pwedeng ipag-combine sa loob ng ating radical, which is 1 and negative 1. So 1 minus 1 is 0. So ang matitira na lang na terms dun sa loob ng radical natin is x raised to 4 plus 2x squared. So yun na lang. Okay, so yung sa 1 plus x squared natin wala pa rin nababago, at yung sa 2x ng numerator natin. So here, ano pa yung pwede nating i-simplify? So dito sa loob ng ating radical sign, pwede tayo mag-factor out. So sa each term, pwede nating ilabas ang x squared. Because x squared times x squared is x raised to 4, and x squared times 2 is 2x squared. So same lang sila. And dito pwede nating ilabas yung x squared. So magiging x na lang siya. Yan. So 2x yung numerator natin. Then 1 plus x squared yung nasa loob ng parenthesis. Tapos ito yung x na lumabas. So ito yung x squared natin kanina. Nung lumabas siya, naging x na lang. Then sa loob ng radical natin, the remaining terms are x squared plus 2. Okay? So dito pwede nating makancel yung x ng 2 tsaka yung x na lumabas kanina dun sa ating radical. So ang matitira na lang ay 2 sa numerator natin. In the denominator, still we have the quantity of 1 plus x squared, then times the square root of x squared plus 2. So ito yung natira dun sa kanina sa ating radical sign. We can have this as our final answer, or if you want to rationalize this, multiply lang natin yung numerator at denominator sa square root of x squared plus 2 over square root of x squared plus 2. And this will give us So 2 times, this is 2 times square root of x squared plus 2. Then all over quantity 1 plus x squared times quantity x squared plus 2. So ito ay nagmula dito sa dalawa. Kapag pinag-multiply natin, makakancel yung ating radical sign. And this is the derivative of our given function. Lastly, for our example number 6, find the derivative of Arccosecant of 5x squared. Gagamitin natin dito yung ating formula na negative u prime over the absolute value of u times the square root of u squared minus 1. And maglalat muna tayo ng values. Let u is equal to 5x squared. Then, for the u prime, kunin lang natin yung derivative nito using the power rule. We have 10x. Then, after having these two values, isa-substitute natin sila dun sa ating formula. And by substitution, we are going to have 10x dun sa ating u prime. Kasi ito yung u prime natin, 10x. So, don't forget the negative sign. Then, in our denominator, we have the absolute value of 5x squared. Yun yung absolute value of u natin, where u is equal to 5x squared. So, kaya meron tayo nito. Then, times square root of u squared. Since u is 5x squared also, so we have the square of 5x squared minus 1. Then, pwede nating i-simplify simultaneously itong absolute value tsaka itong nasa loob ng ating radical sign. So, magkakaroon tayo ng, sa itaas is still 10x, so negative 10x. Absolute value of 5x squared is 5x squared. Then, ito, pag sinimplify natin, 5x squared squared is 25x raised to 4 minus 1. And here, pwede nating makancel yung 10 tsaka yung 5. So, simplify lang natin sila or in the lowest term. So, ito magiging 2, ito magiging 1. Also, we can cancel out yung mga x. Yung x sa itaas, tsaka x sa ibaba. So, may matitira tayong isang x sa ibaba. Sa itaas, wala na tayong matitira ng x. So, ang matitira dito is negative 2 na lang sa itaas over x times square root of 25x raised to 4 minus 1. And we can have this as our final answer. Or still, if you want to rationalize this, i-multiply lang natin sila, both numerator and denominator, by square root of 25x raised to 4 minus 1 dun sa itaas at sa ibaba. So, by multiplying, we are going to have negative 2 times square root of 25x raised to 4 minus 1 all over x times the quantity 25x raised to 4 minus 1. And this is the derivative of our given function. And this is the end of this video. So if you find this video informative, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. God bless us all.